Hello, my name is Heather and I'm here to give you some of my packing tips for Kitty March. I like to use 2 duffel bags for all of my supplies for the Kitty March weekend. I label them each with my name and phone number, as well as attaching the 2 luggage tags that you'll receive on day 0. In addition to that, it's a good idea to put a piece of tape with your name and phone number on each of your bags and take a picture of them and have them on your phone. We walk all day on day 1. We come back, our tents are all set up for us. We'll grab our bags from the luggage tent and then you will set up your tent for the night. So the first thing I like to do is I like to have an additional ground sheet. I put it on the inside of my tent. I put it in a plastic bag and bring that with me. The next thing I have is my mattress. This one is self-inflating, so it rolls up really small. I just open it up, it'll inflate, and I put that in the bottom of my tent. The next thing is my sleeping bag. Again, I use a big plastic bag for it. I struggle in trying to fold my sleeping bag small enough to fit it back into the bag they always come with. I find that this works really well. It's quick, it's easy. I can take it out of my bag, throw it on top of that mattress. So that goes into my bag. I bring a liner for my sleeping bag. It's just basically an additional blanket for inside my sleeping bag. And then I also bring this additional extra blanket just to put on top. It can get quite cold in Kananaskis in September, and I like to be warm. The other thing I bring is my pillow. Again, I just like to put it in a big plastic bag. At the end of the day, I'm tired and I want some comfort and I love my pillow. I can squish this down lots once I get all the air out of it, and it fits very nicely inside my bag. I like to bring a couple of lights for inside my tent. These work really well. I can actually hang it from the top of my tent. This one I sit beside me. Don't forget to make sure that the batteries are working. Also a good idea to bring an extra set of batteries with you if you think you might run out. For walking around camp at night and using the porta potties, it's a good idea to have a headlight. The Kitty March store sells these Night Scouts. It's a tube with a light attached. You can also buy those little headlights, and of course a hand flashlight is all right. Just wrap it around your wrist so that it doesn't go down the porta potty. A couple of other things that are nice to have. Sometimes these hot pockets, I like to put them inside my tent, inside my sleeping bag actually, and just keep my sleeping bag warm. So when I come back after supper and after the activities in the Kitty March tent in the evening, my sleeping bag is nice and warm. I can use them again in the morning. I sometimes throw them into my running shoes, or I'll take it and put it onto my back, or whatever might be a little bit sore from sleeping and walking all day. I find them very comforting, and they're nice to have. You can also, they stay warm a long time, so I can also put them into my coat or into my mittens in the morning, so I really like those. You would also want to have a charger for your phone or your Apple Watch or whatever kind of device you're using. There'll be charging stations out there. Some people like to bring one of those battery packs that they have in their tent, and they can charge their items overnight, which would also be a great idea. My second bag will have my toiletry items. I usually just bring small sample sizes of things. Sunscreen, lip balm. There's a very good list in the Kitty March manual of items to bring. Really important to bring your medications, and not only bring your medications, but bring them with you as you're walking throughout the day. You won't be going back to camp to get them, so have them on your person. I bring 2 sets of towels. The reason I do this is because I learned very quickly that things don't dry very much out at Kitty March. So you could lay your towel out on the tent at night after you've showered, and in the morning, because your towel was damp and you laid it on top of your tent, there's a good possibility your towel has now got some frost on it in the morning. So it's a good idea if you just want to bring an extra towel. Some people were trying to leave the towels in the bathroom. There's just not enough hooks for everyone to let their towels dry in the bathrooms, and also the humidity is so high in those bathrooms after everyone showers that they really don't dry. So I suggest you just bring one for each day. I bring a small hand towel in the morning just to wipe my face, wash my face in the morning. I put them all back into these plastic bags, and the rest of my stuff stays nice and dry. I also use these bags to pack each of my clothes for the day. So I'll just show you what I would typically wear when I start off day one of Kitty March. So my first layer is I would have shorts, which I do under here, and then I put on my sweatpants. I like to wear a tank top because sometimes it gets warm. I'm just going to take off my lanyard for now, just to make this a little bit easier. Of course, sunglasses are also a great idea for Kitty March. I put on a next layer, probably my sweatshirt. It's sometimes really cool in the morning. And then I would put on a Kitty March jacket. I really like these neckers. I find them very functional throughout the day. They're warm when it's cold, but you can also wear them as a headband or cover your head if it gets really hot. A good idea to wear a hat of some sort as you're walking, because the sun can get really bright on your head by the end of the day. So this is something. I would also probably have some mitts on first thing in the morning and see how the day goes. So as I'm walking along now, the temperature is getting very hot. What do I do with all these layers? Well, at each pit stop, you can ask our wonderful crew for a bag. It's a plastic bag that you'll write your full name on, and you can start discarding layers. And you don't have to discard everything all at once. Just remember how many bags you give up. So if it's the first one you want to give up your jacket or a base layer, you can do that, put your name on it, and leave it with them. If you get a couple of pit stops down the road and now you're too hot again, you can get another bag and leave those behind. Just remember that whatever you discard and give to our wonderful crew members, you won't be getting back until the end of the day. So make sure that if you had medications or anything important in your pockets that you take that out, because there's just too many people for us to be chasing after it. At the end of the day, when you get back to camp, there'll be a large table with all the bags lined up. You just grab your bag and proceed back to your tent. Just remember how many bags you discarded and pick those up and take them back to your tent. So again, I just pack an array of things for what I think I might wear. If it's hot, I dress for the heat. If it's cold, I dress for the cold. We've also had rain, and people always ask, what do we do about rain? Well, it's a really good idea to bring some kind of rain gear. I bring a rainproof jacket and a pair of rain pants. Also, it's really hard to keep your feet dry. Some people would then switch to their hiking boots that might be waterproof. Most people just continue to walk in their runners, and your feet do get really wet. When you get back to camp and it's wet, it's a good idea, if it's going to be a rainy weekend, to bring something that you can walk around camp in for the wet. And I just bring a pair of hiking boots in my bag. The other thing I always do, I always bring an extra pair of runners. I break in 2 pairs of runners at least each year. I bring 2 pairs. If one's not feeling particularly comfortable or they get too wet and they haven't dried properly, I like to have that second pair. I learned this trick just recently, that if you take the shower caps that are provided in hotels, they work really good to cover your wet shoes, and then they'll go into your bags. I also use the space inside my runners to put some extra socks as I'm packing, and then I would put these again in a plastic bag. The reason I really like to use plastic bags is I find that there's a lot of moisture from the dew, and things just feel damp. So if I have them all in plastic bags, everything stays dry for me. So in addition to the rain, sometimes it gets very hot. I I do carry a water bottle with me when I walk in between. I don't carry a lot of water, but I take a drink at each one, and then I bring a little bit of water with me. These are some towels that a lot of people have used over the years. You get it wet, they stay cool, you can put them around your neck. They work really well on a hot day. You can also wet these neckers too, but these towels will stay a little bit moisture for you. Don't forget to use your sign, who you're walking for. You can put it on the back of your shirt, the back of your knapsack. We're out there for a great cause, and when you're walking behind somebody and they've got a story or a picture, it's great to stop and listen to, ask them about it. Why are you walking? I noticed the back of your sign. Can you tell me more about it? It's wonderful to hear these stories. It's life-changing, and it just passes the time to walk and listen to the stories and be reminded of why we're out there. One more thing that I really like is I bring a bag, and I take all of my items to the bathroom when I'm going to shower. I bring my towel, my toiletries, my clean set of clothes. I have everything in one spot, and then when I go back, I can put it all in, all the dirty stuff in here. So many things get dropped along the way. You think you have enough hands, but you really don't. So highly recommend you bring some kind of carry bag. It's really helpful. A knapsack is fine if you want to use it. I'd recommend that you practice with it on your training walks, see what works for you, how much you can pack in it, what you like to bring. Some people use a fanny pack, some people just use their pockets, whatever works for you. Again, if you found some really good items that you like to use on your blisters, bring them with you. If it's worked for you, keep using them. There's medical staff at each checkpoint, so they're there to help you. Make sure that if you start to get a hot spot, get it treated as soon as you can. Blisters only get worse, they do not get better. So you get nothing out of this video. Please treat those blisters early because it's not a nice day with blisters. Some people like to use their walking poles. I used them for the first time last year, and I really like them. My hands used to swell from being down low. Holding them up a little bit, I noticed that my hand swelling wasn't as much. They do give you a little assist up the hills. I also found that maybe my posture was a little bit better. I didn't feel quite as sore. Again, I would practice with them, see if it's right for you. You could drop these two, put them in a bag, just make sure that you label what you have. We do have onesie night, so bring your onesie. It's lots of fun. I wouldn't recommend sleeping in them. They're a little bit difficult, especially for us ladies when you have to use the washroom at night to get out of them, but they're great fun to wear. And it's a lot of fun to see what people bring out there. And just a reminder, it does get really cold out there, especially after a long day of walking. Even if it's hot, when it cools off in the evening, you're gonna feel the chill. So bring a nice warm jacket, bring nice warm clothes to sleep in. Again, layers. I usually long underwear, socks, a base layer, a shirt, a sweater. I sometimes have slept in a toque and mitts. So just bring lots of things. It's easier to take things off. It's harder to add them. I hope this video helped. I'm looking forward to meeting you all. Please come up and say hello. I've talked to all the first-time marchers. I'm so excited for you to join our Kitty March family, and all of those that you have returned. I'm so excited to see you again. And don't forget to thank our fabulous crew who help us along the way all the time. They're there volunteering their time in the kitchen and in taking our luggage and setting up all those porta potties and every step along the way. So don't forget to give them a thank you. I wish you luck packing up. Don't pack too much. Just make sure you've got the essentials. Have a great day.